Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on this podcast, Inspiring Our World. My name is Julie Tara, and I am really delighted today to be talking with a wonderful friend of mine, someone I've known for many years in Nikken, a very special gentleman, Dr. Paul Gabias. And I think some of you may know of him and some of you may not. So first and foremost, welcome, Paul. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fabulous. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be with you.
Well, I'm so excited because I know that you just went platinum in December of 2021. And I was jumping up and down with joy, with total glee to hear this. And I want to invite you to kind of tell us a little about your story. So should we just jump right into that?
Sure.
So how was it? How did you get started? And what's been really impactful for you in your journey with Nikken?
Well, how I got started in Nikken was I had already an interest in wellness, and I had studied with a famous physician, Dr. John Diamond, when I was going to graduate school in New York City at New York University. And I had wanted to incorporate promoting wellness into my profession as an experimental psychologist, but that was a very different route. Professionally, I study and do research in perception, comparing visual and haptic perception, that's perception by touch, through the medium of outline drawings. That's so different from wellness, but I kept that interest up, and I am a blind professor. A student was reading to me as an assistant, and she noticed that I was reading a lot of stuff about prevention and wellness, and she said, "I know somebody who would be interested in speaking with you about this." And so she referred me to somebody who was working at a cable company for the TV station here. And her husband phoned me and asked me to take a look at a company that dealt with, well, that's the way he put it, with magnets. And through Dr. Diamond's work, I knew that magnets could affect our meridian system. And so he phoned me many times, and after he said 9 times, and I was busy, we just had our 4th child, but he said, we're meeting at a building just next to your office, and would you come? And so I did come. And that's how I was introduced to Nikken and the balance test, which is where you stand on some insoles. And I knew right away through this balance test that it was applied kinesiology that the company was interested in promoting and teaching people how to do. I had learned about behavioral kinesiology through Dr. Diamond, so I put 2 and 2 together, and there was a woman I knew who had done a blind woman who'd done very well with network marketing. So at the event that he invited me to, I came to understand that this was a combination of promoting wellness through energy, which is what Dr. Diamond was doing, and network marketing. And I thought, oh, this is a fantastic combination. You won't find it anywhere else but with Nikken. So without really knowing anything, I signed up, I think, the next day to be a consultant. And that's how my Nikken journey started. That's how I was found. by Nikken, because we're all found by somebody.
That's right. I love this story because I know of Dr. Diamond's work. And it's interesting you mentioned about meridians too, because as you know, my background was in macrobiotics, which is, very much about studying the laws of the universe through the Japanese understanding. And it was always to do with connecting with nature and to do with energy. And that when you help the energy system really thrive, the physical body just follows suit naturally. And also something you said about the balance test, I'm thinking to myself, gosh, I'm assuming if you're blind that balance is a pretty important thing. So it must have felt really good for you to feel that kind of stabilization. Is that true?
Yes, it is true. Although I've always had good balance. I think I was riding a two-wheeler up and down our street. We had a quiet street. My parents weren't going to buy me a bike, so I borrowed my sister's bike, then my brother's bike, other kids' bikes. So I never learned with training wheels, but I'm a good water skier. So, but it was just that when this was the balance, the most important part of the balance test for me was that they are using kinesiology. And that is amazing that a company would be teaching people how to demonstrate the products with kinesiology, systematically doing that. That impressed me so much. I mean, it was the most impressive thing. I mean, I don't know any other company that does that, where we show people how to demonstrate the products, the energy value in the products through kinesiology. Every wellness consultant somehow learns how to do that. That's so impressive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm reminded of in London going years and years ago to a body, mind, spirit festival, and somebody showing me Touch for Health. And it was all through kinesiology. And I was like, this is wild. This is like, I had never come across anything like that before. So absolutely. And just, I have to say, yesterday I was watching your YouTube video called Teaching Sensation and Perception Without Sight. And I loved it. I actually watched it 3 times and was so impressed. And I know that first of all, you're an associate professor of psychology, which I'm sure lots of people kind of freak out thinking, oh gosh, you must be diagnosing them psychologically every second. But I'm sure you don't do that. But your level of perception, your level of highly developed, your listening, your sense of touch and everything, it's probably way beyond many of us. And I don't know, I just was fascinated, truly, because my dad always said touch is terribly important. He always told me to read Ashley Montague's book on touch, which I still haven't done because it was such a big book, but I wanted to read it. And I do love reading, and I'm sure you've read it. And
Yes.
And you teach all about this.
I teach about this, and there's a saying in psychology that people get involved in what they're not good at. And so I had the opportunity to have a blind professor at Concordia University in Montreal, who graduated from the University of Pennsylvania. He was blind also. And I learned from him that I could understand vision. And then I also learned from him that not only could I understand it, but I could teach it to sighted people how it actually, or how we think it actually works. And I think I have a unique perspective relating to how vision works that has to say that, just as we use our hands to feel around, we use our whole body to look around. So the challenge of perception is there's always changing stimulation, whatever sense dimension we're using, but we have to perceive, we have to pick up that constancy in that flow of changing stimulation so that we pick up non-change from constant change. That's a wonderful way of looking at it.
Wow. It makes me think of the Tao, actually, and that there's always the stillness within movement, and that fabulous, the sort of paradox of life. It's one of the reasons I've always loved the Tao Te Ching, for that teaching that it gives us the opposites and yet the same, and the stillness within all things. So I love
that's an interesting expansion on that. I love that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about Nikken's philosophy. So we have this philosophy, right, of humans being more, and the 5 pillars of wellness. Tell me about that. Tell us about that. How is that for you? How has this informed your life?
Well, humans being more, I just love that, because it applies to everybody. Humans being more means that wherever you want to improve in life, whatever you want to improve in life, you can do that. And Nikken has supportive structures, supportive processes, supportive people, both in corporate and in the field of consultants. We have such a variety of a network of consultants that, and we're all connected. And this is all we want to do for everybody, to help people become more in whatever way you want. So whatever it is you want to do, however it is you want to be, we have those people resources in Nikken. You don't have to go anywhere else. We have it. Humans being more. That's what that means to me. And the 5 pillars of wellness are, well, would you like to improve with respect to your body? I certainly did want to. So body, mind, absolutely mind. As a professor, I'm always trying to keep that mind of mine sharp. So mind, body, family. Well, we come from families, so families are important. And we, Nikken, one of Nikken's purposes is to help support people's families. A person just looking at Nikken at the beginning might not know this, but this is absolutely key. Then if we have families that are supporting each other, more coherent, that has an effect on our society. And then finances. There are many places, many structures that you can devote your life to that might help you with body, mind, family, society, but the finances is left to deal with itself, not at Nikken. There is a system whereby we can help each other develop that financial pillar. And basically the way it works is the more people we help in that, including in that pillar, the better it helps us. So it's all so neatly packaged together. And there's no place else where you can go to get this package, but we have it at Nikken.
Yes, beautifully said. It's so comprehensive, isn't it? And I think for all of us, there's usually 1, maybe 2 of the pillars that are thriving, maybe even 3, And then there's usually one or two that aren't thriving quite as well, that we could sort of pick up our game with. And I love it that we've often referred to it as like a tire. And if any one of those 5 pillars isn't functioning well, it's like having a nail in the tire and the whole tire goes flat, because one will impact another and another and another.
Yes. And with people, when we ask, because we always, ask as we are talking with people, just the way we are now, informally, where are the issues? Once we get to know people and they'll tell us, we usually find it's body and finances. Those are the two that need attention.
That's interesting that you've noticed that. I mean, I could certainly concur. And I mean, sometimes there's family breakdowns that are really significant that need health and healing too. But there's always a point of entry, shall we say, into that circle of life, if you like. I've never said that before, but just suddenly I see it like a circle of life, and you have this portal of entry, and your entry is through the body or through the mind or through whatever. So with you, let's say, like, what was it for you? Where was your portal of entry into the 5 pillars?
Oh, well, it was body. And it was through, well, I was dealing with a back, they didn't know this. The people who showed me Nikken, I was just so blown away with the test. I just registered, but then I discovered something about the products. So I started with, I had a back issue that would seize up on me, and I'd have to stay in bed for days. It was very, very, very painful. And I also, with raising a family and teaching at the university and research, I mean, I wasn't sleeping. My mind was just churning all the time. So, but I started with some insoles and a Kenko Flex that fits just in the lower part of your back. And I felt a difference. So instead of my back being, it would go to 10 as being the most acute in terms of discomfort, but it was often just staying at a maybe a 6, 7. And with those 2 products, maybe it went down to a 5, or I could begin to load the dishwasher again. I'm 40 years old, right? God. And I felt I was falling apart. But I discovered that Nikken had what we call a sleep system, something for that goes on top of your mattress, a topper, and then a comforter and pillows, all with the ceramic reflecting energy and the magnetic energy. And anyway, I sort of thought, well, look, if what you sleep on is supposed to make a big difference in terms of sleep and back issues. So I thought, why not? Let me get that. And then if I feel a difference, then I had heard there was a business opportunity. And so I said to myself, if this works for me too, as I hear it's worked for other people, well, then there are lots of people who need this sort of thing. Well, it did. I stopped having these recurrent bouts of back issues, and my mind would stop churning when it needed to, so I could sleep. I felt profoundly better. So then I thought, you never thought you could sell a chocolate bar, so you better do some learning because this is really good. And but it was really sleep and back problems that went away, that really made me, as we say, a lifer in Nikken. I mean, nobody else could help. So
yes. Thank you for sharing that story. It's really profound. And I know, my mother used to have a lot of back issues, and it really took a toll on her life. And of course, she would take medications for it. And then when I started getting back issues from being, a ballerina in Dutch National Ballet, I didn't want to take pills at all. And so I had the same experience as you with the Mag Flex, the earlier version of that. And it absolutely blew me away, because I'd had that problem for 20 years and did not think at all that this funny little thing that looked like a mud flap, was going to help my back at all. So it's marvelous, the entry points with which we, our awareness just grows. Like, wow, there really is something to this, and it's safe, and it's non-invasive, and highly effective. It's just so super cool. So what is your favorite of all the Nikken products, and why?
Well, we kind of dealt with that. I'd have to say the sleep system, because sleep is where rejuvenation occurs, where healing occurs. And I was just thinking about this morning. I think we were born to sleep. Babies sleep a tremendous amount. Puppies sleep so much. I mean, they play, and then boom, they're asleep. I think sleep is still understudied. We really don't know completely how it works, how sleep works, but we know that we have to have it. You go without sleep for one night, you feel it immediately. So I think Nikken was very smart to focus in its early development on sleep, because sleep is the foundation for everything else that we do. If we don't sleep well, we don't do anything else properly either. So it's foundational, and that's why there are lots of nutritional products, water products, products for the daytime that help with decrease of discomfort. But fundamentally, sleep is the most important. And I think we have the best solution for it.
I couldn't agree more. I think sleep is so underrated in our, in our world. People are just like, oh, I don't have time for sleep, or I'll sleep when I'm dead, or something like that. No, if you don't sleep, you'll be dead sooner than later. And, it is critical. And I think we're starting to develop more awareness about it now. And athletes, of course, know how critical sleep is for their recovery. I know the Tour de France, they say, it's won at night by how well the contestants sleep, between the day. And I know for myself, if I don't have a good night's sleep, I'm not so great in the day. It makes a world of difference, not only for your body, but just for your mind, for your emotions, your sense of well-being, your ability to stay calm and peaceful, maybe during times of difficulty. I know with children, makes a massive, massive difference. I know with my kids, with school in America starts really early, and it's a challenge for parents to get kids up to go to school. And once they had the sleep system, it was easy. They were ready. It was easy to wake them up, or they'd already be awake, and easy for them to get up and get ready and have breakfast and go out the door and get on the bus to school. And that's huge, because it means there's no battles between parents and kids, especially when they're teenagers. You know how that is. Teenagers need more sleep than anybody. So I'm really glad you brought that up, and I really agree with you. And I love our sleep system. I don't know what I'd do without it. It's a treasure for all of us who have wellness homes. So let's switch gears a little here and talk about the business a bit. I want to know, I was so excited when you went platinum, like, what is the secret, Paul, of your success in building your Nikken business?
Well, people are going to be surprised when I say this, but I'm going to say the products. Because if there were no Nikken products, there would be no Nikken business. And I don't care how much personal development somebody takes, but if there's no vehicle for that to move along, then there's no Nikken business. And my primary reason for being in Nikken is to make it so that the Nikken products end up in people's homes. If those products weren't there, I'd find something else to do. Not even necessarily in network marketing, but it's that combination, products and network marketing, that is my impeller, if you will. Now, what I have learned to do to get those products into people's homes, and that is my emphasis. It's not, oh, how much am I going to make this? That, no. I mean, that there's yes, that comes with it, but it's how can I find out about people so that they come to trust me well enough that they are ready to invest in Nikken products, and they know the reasons that why they should. So I guess what I have become better and better at doing, using, of course, working, of course, with the network that we have, the tremendous network that we have in Nikken, what I have become better and better at doing is helping people sell themselves on the product and on the business. That's they're doing it, and then selling themselves on wanting to duplicate this for other people. You can't, to succeed in this business, you have to want to be of service to other people. You have to understand, I have to understand that. And so it keeps me reaching out to new people, because I'm platinum, but I haven't built a Royal Diamond organization, which I intend to do, but I'm going to need the help of more people to do that. But to do that, I have to help more people. So my success is I have desire, and I learn from experience, and I have this wonderful Nikken network always there to support me. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's how I feel about it.
Well, I'm really moved by your answer. I couldn't agree more. I feel, I mean, we are birds of a feather, no question. I feel the same way. I think the products are so transformative, and then the network marketing model is transformative. And when you put the two together, it's really quite a sublime combination here. And, I have to say, I knew people before I came across Nikken that were making fabulous incomes in network marketing, but there was nothing that intrigued me or excited me until I found Nikken. And then I was like, oh, this is so right. This is so up my alley. This is everything I believe in with connecting to nature. And I just want to be of service. And that's so true. Like all my life I had the thought, please just let me be of service. I want to be of service, especially with health. I love that. And so I'm right with you on it. I think that's the key. And I think people feel it. And when you can create an environment within which a person can have an aha moment where it's suddenly not their cerebral left brain working, but suddenly something else happens and they're like, oh goodness, what's that? That is remarkable, because then there's a switch that happens within them, and we're just creating the environment for that aha to happen in. We're not making that switch happen. And that allows people to be completely autonomous. And so what you said about, I want people to kind of want it for themselves. And I feel the same way. It's like, I want people to want what it is I have, and not try to sell them on it, but for them to choose it out of their own free will, because it's going to be free will from then on out anyway, as life is. There's always free will. They can come and go within the Nikken network. And of course we see that happen naturally. That's a natural phenomena. So I'm right with you here on this point. And I think people feel safe when they feel they can trust you. And then, when the time is right, you really can show them the preciousness of what you have. And then, we hope they get it, and maybe they do, and maybe they don't. But you're centered in your own truth, and you're not trying to make somebody do something they don't want to do.
Yeah, and what we have, of course, is humans being more. So if we do it right, what is there to say no to about humans being more?
That's right. Right. It's so true. It's so true. Well, speaking on that, because we know the humans being more, training is so fantastic, and that we have these transformational experiences. Is there a transformational experience specifically that you would be open to sharing during your Nikken journey?
Well, I still have to go back to the physical one, because being in absolute discomfort several times a year, and then that not happening anymore, I don't know what can be more transformational than that. But the gradual transformational impact of Nikken on me has been that I've had to be a human being more, to be better at serving people, and then to be better at this business, which is a business of service. So that has taken time. Now, every time I have to talk about myself. Platinum, moving from gold to platinum was big for me. I finally sort of began to feel, I guess I'm beginning to know what I'm doing.
For sure, you are.
And that was transformational. So for people looking at Nikken, you will discover the different, as we call them, pin levels, but you will find that as you progress through them, you will have had to transform yourself into a better human being in order to achieve those pin levels. It just works that way.
Yes, Paul, that is so well spoken. I've often referred to the compensation plan and the advancement in rank, which means a bigger organization and obviously more income and so forth, as an alchemical journey. And it's as we shift within ourselves to become more a vessel of service is how we actually do move forward. And I love to witness that and empower people with that idea. So, for me, it starts at the beginning, to go executive, and then silver, and then gold and platinum. And sometimes I've heard people say, oh, well, I just want to, I just want to build a bigger team. I never focus on the rank. And I think it's a little bit missing the point, because the focusing on the rank is to focus on how can I be better? How can I transform my life? How can I let go of things that are holding me back, my self-sabotage and so forth, in order to be of greater service to the world, to be a vehicle, a more effective vehicle. And then the rank ensues. The rank comes to you because you've become better. And of course, in action, that you're sharing with more people and you're helping more people. And then suddenly you rise to this next level of platinum, diamond, whatever. And I have no doubt that you absolutely will be a royal diamond with Nikken. I mean, I have watched you for years, Paul. I have always admired you so much. I have such a deep respect for who you are. And I think we're so blessed. I truly feel we're so blessed to have you as part of our community. So I just do think it's an alchemical journey. And so I know, going diamond, and that was, I remember that step and going, well, I just need to cleanse my heart. I need to forgive more. I need to let go of the holding on to these betrayals and things that have happened. And I have to purify my heart. And the more I purify my heart, the more, and of course, being in action, talking with people and everything like that, but the more this will happen through me. And it's exactly what did. In fact, I right before going diamond, I was doing everything I knew to do, and then everything was doing great, and then suddenly it was falling apart. And then I remember being on my knees and I was crying, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? I'm doing everything I know how, and it's just not happening. It's not working. And I heard this voice say, it's time to forgive your parents. And I was like, honestly, Paul, I was like I was like stomped in my mind. I was like, stomp my foot. And I was like, I don't want to forgive my parents. My dad left, when I was 11. My mom was, a heroin, addict, basically a derivative of heroin. And I don't want to. They didn't love me. They didn't want me, and all of that. And then the voice came again and said very gently, but very firmly, it's time to forgive your parents. And honestly, Paul, I was on the floor weeping, and I was like, it's right. It's true. It's just time. I just got to get over this. And in that moment, I did. I really, in my heart, I forgave them. And it opened up all this love in me. And I could feel it extending out to them, and like a sort of stillness, like a tranquility that had no boundaries. And it's like, it's done. It's done. And I will tell you, within about half an hour or so, or an hour, I don't know, the phone started ringing again. And the diamond ship all started taking shape again. And it happened purely and gracefully. And I was like, I know what I did. I know what I had to do. So this was an experience I had that has never left me, because we're all so connected.
So that was the biggest gift that going diamond brought to you, but you had to do it first.
That's correct. That's correct. It had to happen first before anything else could happen, because I was in a holding pattern. It couldn't occur until that occurred.
So that's why we say, Nikken, discover it. You were still discovering. Even from platinum to diamond, you were still discovering. Nikken, discover it, live it, share it, which is what, of course, we're doing.
Yes. And it goes on, because our lives are a transformational experience. Hopefully, we don't just get stultified and we just keep growing and learning. And a lot of it is about letting go of things so that the true self can come through. So it's a beautiful journey. So let's talk a little bit about the future. Why do you think that Nikken is so important for the future of our world right now?
Because Nikken is, I believe, is the best pathway to peace. We have tremendous disruption in our world, and this is the way to a way. I just happen to think that it's the most complete way, because we really do have a system for helping people with the financial aspect of life, which, some people might say, well, money isn't important. Well, it was Zig Ziglar who said, but it ranks right up there with oxygen,
True.
So, but really, we need peace, and that I think we're in the best position to help people achieve it. I really do. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it.
Well said. I would agree totally. It's so true. Peace, joy, love, a higher level of being a human being on the planet. All of this is so pertinent, especially right now with everything that we're facing in our world. So, gosh, Paul, I just loved it that you said the word peace. It just allowed, I just felt total peace when you said it. So you just given us so much today. And so within all that you've shared, what would be the one nugget of wisdom that our listeners who are listening avidly to you today could take with them, so that they could integrate that into their Nikken journey at this time?
Well, there's a Jesuit priest named Bob Dufford who wrote a song called Be Not Afraid. And I'll just sing the first few lines of it, and that will be my nugget.
I love it.
Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest.
Wow, Paul, that is gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're so blessed to have you be part of our community. I'm so grateful that you would take this time today to be with us on this podcast and share your wisdom, your love, your service. It's really something else. I'm just feeling it so much. I feel like I want to cry, but I'm not going to cry. But thank you, Paul, for your time today.
Well, thank you, Julie. I love continuing to develop our Nikken wellness community, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this with other people that I might not have had without your help.
You're so welcome. And thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed this time together with Paul as much as I did. And don't forget to follow the podcast. Now, you can go to Spotify if you're a subscriber, or you can subscribe, or you can get it free on Apple Podcast or Google Podcast. You can also get it through the Nikken International YouTube channel as well, so that you can translate into other languages if you so need. So there's many ways to find us. Make sure to join me next week. This podcast comes out every Tuesday morning. Well, depending on where you are in the world, of course, but on Tuesdays. And we're thrilled to have you with us. So have a wonderful week, everyone. Thank you again, Paul. And we'll see you somewhere on the Nikken Highway. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.